Bitcoin is getting a brand new ETF and everyone and their nans are extremely excited about that. Bitcoin is actually hovering at 6-month highs on the ETF hopes and with inflation worries. So this is absolutely huge. And the only catch is that this article is from 2021. So I don't know if that sounds familiar to you guys or not, but this is the same style of article that we're getting from Reuters right now, June 24, 2023. The point I wanted to make with you guys within the first 10 seconds of this video, ladies and gents, as we're coming in and smashing up these likes here, is that we have been in exactly this situation before with Bitcoin and its ETF drama many, many times. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I'm still in my long position. I've been in this long position for an incredibly long period of time. I'm sitting basically at the top. I've made phenomenal, more than 400% profits on this position. I want to see Bitcoin go up. But at the same time, I don't want to fool myself. I don't want to play games, just getting around in a circle, and just patting each other on the back that Bitcoin is getting institutional investors coming in the space now, because that kind of thing is extremely misleading. You are being fooled again. You've been fooled already by this ETF news, and I am here to demystify all of this for you. Now, here's the thing, is that these ETFs, if we don't know what they are basically just another way for big players, institutions to be trading these markets, right? We know about BlackRock. We know how big of a deal these guys are. If we just go ahead and take a look at their website here, this is, one of the biggest companies in the United States. It's weird, like they're really big and people don't really have a good understanding of that. But these guys are absolutely huge. They manage trillions of dollars actually, and so them having an ETF is potentially another avenue for money to flow into the markets. But as you know, I'm a technical analyst, okay? I don't really care about these news headlines. I never have, and that's why I've been able to trade so well, because I don't get caught up in this noise. I don't get caught up in this bullshit, to be quite honest, to be quite frankly honest with you guys here. That's never been my approach. And so what I'm interested in is how has this kind of stuff gone in the past? And if we take a look at these ETF excitement, kind of articles that have come out years ago. By the way, this is the ETF apparently that we're looking at here, and it is down by about 50% since its inception right here. You can take a look at some of these numbers here. I'll actually try and include these sources in the description for you. What is incredibly clear, guys, is that, look, this article, everyone was really, really excited. October 18, 2021. If we actually go ahead, and I'm just going to use this to show you exactly what we are looking at. If we just move ourselves over to October of 2021, look at this exact date. It is this candle right here. It really doesn't get much better than this. We are so clearly, seeing this kind of news coming in at tops, because this is just how it works when you've got institutional investors trying to come into the markets. I think what these crypto dumb cunts think is that these people are going to be buying the top when you sell your coins to them at the very, very top in the market. And that's just not how it works. Every time we've seen institutional investors enter this space, the price has actually dropped. And it's kind of concerning because, we're at a similar situation now. We've rallied beautifully off our low by over 100%. We've more than doubled. And now the ETF news is really starting to take off, which, to me is like extremely fucking uncomfortable, because every time this has happened before, it's actually ended in disaster. As far as I can remember, the earliest time that we actually saw big headlines of this, let me know if you remember this, guys, was actually December of 2017. And, I don't really need to tell you what happened after that, but it did trigger one of the worst bear markets Bitcoin has seen, in quite some time. It literally ended a 2-year bull market when we got all of these institutional players in the market here. So if you do remember that, I want you to let me know. And by the way, you guys, you've been phenomenal here with the YouTube channel. We have been just on point with our analysis. And I do want to highlight to you guys that, you've all been paying so much attention to the channel here. I've been outlining to you guys that nothing has changed on these videos, and look at all of these comments. You guys are just well aware of all of this stuff, and that is because the analysis here, and I am going to go into it in just a second, has not changed, right? We are going to dive deep into this BlackRock ETF stuff and why I don't actually think it's a big deal, but at the very same time, if we do just look at the technicals, yes, we've rallied off our lows. Yes, we've had one beautiful pullback, 2 beautiful pullbacks now, a nice big pullback, 2 months long, 20% down, and now we've actually swept that high. We've punched in a new higher high and a new higher low. So again, with with everything that we're seeing on the chart, it's true. Nothing has changed. And for that reason, I'm going to, that's going to be the context that I give you guys this analysis in. I do want to highlight before I continue that if you are interested in trading these markets, then the platforms I've linked for you are the best in the space. BingX does not require KYC, which means no pictures of yourself and no pictures of your ID. But the best part about BingX is that you can trade these stocks right here, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, Forex, indices, commodities, all with leverage just from a Bitcoin deposit, and again, without even doing any KYC. So it is a very, very flexible exchange. Bybit, for me, remains the best exchange in the space, and depending on what you deposit and trade with and you sign up using my link, you're going to get up to $30,000 of free trading ammunition that they give you in your account, and any profits that you generate with that are yours to keep. You can YOLO this cash, you can throw it wherever you like, and if you make any money with it, it is yours to withdraw. OKX, very exclusive 60K campaign, ends in 5 days as well. Lots of beautiful offers, but we'll get to those in just a second. What I want to cover with you guys first is the fact that this kind of stuff has resulted in disasters for the market before, right? And this is, this is what people get really, really excited by, and rightfully so. We're getting excited by the prospect of people buying these Bitcoins and, new money flowing in, especially when it's really big markets flowing in. But, I think what people fail to consider, and what I mentioned earlier on in this YouTube video, is that this is only, a door that's opening for these investors, but they're not going to take it until the prices go to better levels. And I think that is what people really do tend to forget. If we actually go ahead and read this article and just take a look at what they are covering here, obviously this is the world's biggest asset manager. These guys are huge. It's weird that we're only hearing that. Like, I haven't heard of BlackRock until probably like this year or last year. So pretty recent considering how big they are, and it's just one of those things. But what's very cool is they're using Coinbase as their custodian for these coins, which is very, very interesting indeed. And the rest of the article just kind of goes on to talk about how, people, previously were very scared with the FTX collapse, but then actually, we're seeing some of this sentiment get revived after, Binance, Coinbase were sued by the SEC in the United States. It was pretty messy, but since then, people are very, very excited. And this is one of those things that, look at this quote says it itself: the dark clouds overshadowing crypto have lifted in the recent days amid a burst of institutional interest. This is the thing, is that, this institutional interest was here before. Why are we getting the headlines right now? These are important questions to be asking, because this is coming at a potential market top, or certainly a very, very important resistance level. And that's not to say that the price can't keep on going up. It certainly can, but my concern is that just going off what's happened in the past, this has almost always resulted in bad things for the market. It's just one of those things where the market tends to top afterwards, and I can't tell you exactly why, because I don't know. But if I had to guess, this is just one of those things where people are getting really, really excited over something that, hasn't necessarily even happened yet. And that's quite typical. I think one thing that people really do tend to forget in these markets is that it's the news that drives the price up. It's the hype that drives the price up. But once the news actually drops, once the ETF actually launches, once the Ethereum upgrade actually happens, once the SEC case is over, even if it's a victory, all of the speculation is done now. And I think that's what people don't really understand, is in these markets, we're trading to speculate, right? You don't want to be the last person in. You want to be the first person in, which means that, you're going to take on the most risk at the beginning, but that's where the most money can be made as well. And then once, the news is published, once the move has already happened, once the event has happened, there isn't any reason to be excited anymore. And this is, you never really think about this until it actually happens. And, you wouldn't even confront this reality unless you've, traded based off these ideas and then lost money. And obviously, I've done that. So I'm speaking from experience here. I have lost money in every way imaginable in these markets. And that's why I speak about them the way I do now with you guys right here on this YouTube video. And this is just one of these very, very typical situations here where we might be walking into a trap. And I do want to remind you guys that, again, while, and we have plenty of reasons to be bullish in this market. Do not get me wrong. Like I said, I'm still in this long position. I've traded it incredibly well so far, and I intend on staying in this position, for ideally quite some time now. But at the very same time, let's not fool ourselves, and let's just take a second to appreciate and understand that this is still the most significant area of resistance that Bitcoin has on this chart. And yeah, admittedly, we've done well so far, but we haven't really punched in a much higher high. In fact, off this high right here to the wick, it's only like a percent point higher, 1 percentage point higher. Like, we're not actually doing anything that's mind-blowing or anything that's just, new paradigm, kind of territory in this market here. And I think that is a really important point that we ought to consider here, is that, like, while we are getting all of these bullish headlines, and we have a million reasons to be bullish. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if we look at the 𝗬𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗟𝗏 dashboard right here, fear and greed rating of 64, this hasn't been pushing up, which I'm actually quite happy about. If we look at this right here, I mean, 65 right here, 65, then we dip down back up to 64. We're not pushing up right now. We're just kind of stabilizing up here, which, granted, this is quite high, but we're not in extreme greed right now. So I don't think that's looking particularly bad. Binance retail traders, obviously always getting it wrong, are still majority short right now. And actually Bybit traders are majority short right now as well. This is unusual. We don't usually see Bybit traders and Binance traders on the same side of the market. But the point is like we've got a lot of retail. This data also for Bybit does include retail traders. These guys are still majority short, so we've got the right signs here. We know that retail traders don't typically make money, and we know that if they're betting heavily on one side, it's probably going to go in the opposite direction. Just generally, that's how it's been in my experience, at least. And this is all happening at a resistance level, which is a really important thing to keep in mind, right? I still have the confidence that we're going to break this resistance level, and I'm sure that it's going to happen relatively soon. But at the very same time, even if we get up to 34, 35, 36K, we still are facing a lot of resistance in this range. And the last time this happened, with the BlackRock news, with this article that I showed you guys at the very beginning of the video, the price did still manage to pump up by like another kind of 10-11%. And guess what's about 10-11% away from us right now? And I'm not trying to say that we're going to do the same thing again, but the setup is there. We certainly have the puzzle pieces in the same place right now. We have the same headline, guys. I mean, it's weird. It's creepy even. 6-month high, granted, okay, this is a 12-month high, but still very, very similar on ETF hopes and inflation worries, right? And so, and we're seeing the same thing happen exactly the same way again. And it is one of those things where, you can choose to ignore this and you can choose to say that this time is different, and you very well might be right. I would love to side with you there because I'm betting on the long side as well, being in my long side. I'm not betting, but I'm on the long side as well. I'm still very much expecting the price to go up, but at the very same time, you can't deny that this is quite a compelling sign here that, we've seen before and we've ignored before, and that typically doesn't end particularly well. So I do think this is something that's really important to keep in mind here, while everybody else is excited about this kind of thing happening in the market. I mean, with the ETF that we've had right here, it didn't end particularly well. With the things that happened in 2017, like I said, those things didn't end particularly well. So it's not like we're coming at this from a place of huge strength, and then again, like I said, sitting at these resistance levels, it does make it all the more concerning. I do think that we should be open to the possibility of maybe, some sort of like deviation up here and then back down, maybe some support, and then we're just kind of raging sideways perhaps, leading into the 2024 halving event, and then maybe we get the breakout. I know this would suck. It would be great as traders, to be honest. We'd have really nice, predictable, strong areas of support and resistance to be trading off. But at the very same time, obviously, we want to see some more price action on Bitcoin. And again, just it's these resistance areas. If we can get above it, then yeah, that's a big mark of progress. But so far, we have been stopped, right? I mean, we've been doing okay on these short time frames. If we look at this on the Coinbase chart and really zoom in to understand where this chart is and where it might go, we've been doing well. I think that if you actually just kind of zoom out and look at what happened 2 months ago, we are in a situation right now where if I just go ahead and kind of draw a box at these levels, we are finding, support right now in an area where previously we were finding resistance, which I think is really important and well worth paying attention to. I mean, look at how predictable this resistance was for the market way back here in April of this year, and look at how beautifully we're finding support off it right now. So, if we do zoom in, we've got a really good picture, and that is great. I do like the look of that. The fact that we're consolidating is giving us plenty of time for these indicators to catch up. If we look at this on the hourly time frame, we've got some beautiful support right here on the hourly Ichimoku cloud. We are in it right now. We're also giving a chance for the 4-hour time frame to catch up. It's going to take a while, and this is going to be more useful if the price does drop back down, and that is something that I'm welcoming. I don't mind if the price does have to, come back down for a little bit of a support grab here and then continue to move up. But the beautiful thing is that we're not continuing this rocket ship up. This is giving us a chance to correct, and it's giving us a chance to form this rally much more sustainably. I think this is really important, is that, previously we rallied up off this low from $20,000 around where I entered my long position. It was about over here, you know, and then we didn't have any price-based corrections. We just traded sideways for a bit, and that obviously didn't work out. We needed to come down for a bigger correction and then try it again, which is what we're doing right now. So, you know, we've got the setup. We're coming at it from a better place as well, and we're now consolidating, which is absolutely beautiful. If we look at the momentum on this chart as well, 4-hour EMA ribbon is very, very close to the current price action right now. So if the price does dip down a little bit, we're going to have a lot of support for momentum. If we look at this on the hourly time frame, we've got this support right here as well. On the daily time frame, everything is bullish. Everything is still pointing to the upside on this chart until we zoom out. And again, when we zoom out, this is when it becomes uncomfortably clear that you know, there is still quite a bit of resistance up ahead for Bitcoin, you know, represented by this you know, kind of thick yellow line here, which could certainly turn into a bit of a problem for Bitcoin on this chart. And again, while everybody's getting very excited by this kind of headline, you know, and granted, I mean, there's a lot of things that make sense for it. I haven't been going into massive detail of this stuff because it just doesn't matter, to be quite honest with you guys. You know, at the same time, I do want you guys to take it all with a pinch of salt, because we are at the perfect time for the market to dupe us, for the market to trick us, you know, into thinking that the same thing that's happened previously every single time won't happen again. You know, and this is only, I mean, you know, I saw a beautiful quote today on Twitter, completely unrelated, although somewhat related, saying that if you still trust your government, it means your history teacher hasn't done a good enough job, you know. And it's similar here, you know, if you still trust that these ETFs are going to, you know, take us to all-time highs and so on and so forth, then you haven't been studying history well enough. This is the kind of thing where you actually get a lot more cautious. This is the kind of thing where people are becoming really bullish and really excited, you know, and for me, that is a time for me to be a little bit more cautious, in the words of, you know, Warren Buffett, trying to stay a little bit more greedy when people are cautious and a little bit more cautious when people are greedy. You know, that's kind of the direction that I'm trying to be in. Look, I'm not trying to go like ridiculous on that side and like be too far on the extreme, but at the very same time, when everyone's, you know, celebrating, jumping in circles and dancing, you know, around these kind of ETF headlines, I am going to be the voice of caution, and I am going to be the guy that, you know, I mean, fuck me, it is a little bit of a killjoy, but it is what it is. I mean, I'm here to make money. I'm not here to enjoy myself and have a fun time. You know, and that does mean acknowledging these uncomfortable truths, is that, yeah, I mean, you know, this is one of those things where you kind of don't want to see it, because these are the kind of headlines that do come out when markets are near tops. So, I mean, look, for me personally, with the way I'm seeing the market, we're still trending. You know, we've pulled back. We're still in the same uptrend now. You know, we've swept the high, albeit not by very much. You know, short-term trend still looks good. It's only the long-term trend that I think could be problematic for Bitcoin, but the way we're consolidating is very, very promising, and the way we've actually come down was also very promising. So it doesn't have to be, you know, a bad situation for Bitcoin right now, and I am going to continue to monitor this very, very closely. I've actually been very strongly considering a position on Ethereum, which I will not be speaking about right now, but VIPs will be fully informed on that. I think I've already told them about it. No, I haven't actually made a post in VIP about that, so that's going to be going in right after this YouTube video. I have also covered Cardano with you guys earlier today as well. So there's a lot of opportunities in these markets, and let alone in crypto, just across Forex and stocks as well. I mean, these indices markets are just, you know, at spectacularly high levels right now. So you guys are going to be able to find me on BingX, taking advantage of this volatility. Again, you know, without KYC and only with a Bitcoin deposit, it is an incredibly strong and valuable proposition right here. I do want to highlight with you guys once again, OKX. This is an up to $60,000 reward campaign that they're running for a very exclusive, limited time only. And that does end within 5 days. So if you haven't had a chance to get your rewards of up to 60K yet, you are nearly out of time. So definitely do check it out if you're interested. And with the rest of the links, Bybit as well, up to 30K, over 100K in total for all of these bonuses. Go get these bonuses. Go do that bounty hunting. It is worth the time with all the extra ammunition for your trading that these exchanges will give you. And you don't even need to keep your money on these exchanges when you get the bonuses. And that's the best part, is that, you know, you just kind of deposit it, show, you know, dangle your money in front of these guys a little bit, take your bonus, and then get the hell out and trade with the free money they're giving you. It is a very, very good model, and it does shortcut your way forward. A lot of you guys have taken advantage of this very well, so shout out to those of you who have. But there you go, guys. I hope you have appreciated this video. If you have, do me a favor, smash up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all of that good stuff, and I will be seeing you in my very next Bitcoin video tomorrow morning. So again, do make sure that you're not missing out on the time-sensitive nature of this content by subscribing, ticking the bell and all that stuff, and it will be a much more analysis focused video. I do want to know, did you like this? This is covering a very relevant news world, a real world news event. If this is something that you want to see more of, let me know. Typically I don't talk about this stuff because you guys know how much I don't care about it and how much this is actually distracting and dangerous to be focusing on as traders, but at the same time everyone's talking about it, and you guys always tell me you want to hear my thoughts on it. So if this is something you want me to continue, tell me, and if this is something you want me to avoid and stay closer to the normal TA, tell me that as well. I read your comments. Obviously I don't reply to all of them, but I do read them all, so I really want to know what you have to say, and I will give you more of that. All right guys, thank you all so much. You know what to do, and I'll see you all in the very next one. Cheers.